Hi guys. So for bars, these next 2 weeks, we're gonna be working on the last part of our pullover, which is the wrist shift and then lifting their chest up to front support. When you do this, at the start of bars, you're gonna teach them how to do motorcycle hands. Motorcycle hands, just like they're driving a motorcycle, vroom, vroom, vroom. And this is the action or the motion that their wrists are gonna do in order to shift to come on top of the bar, and then they push the bar down to come all the way up to front support. All right, on bars today for our first station, they're gonna be working on their wrist shift and then lifting their chest up to front support. They're gonna start hands on the bar, feet come on the inside of the rope. They're gonna bend in half at their hips so their nose come to their toes. That rope's gonna prevent their legs from coming over. Their wrists come on top and then their chest comes up after that. They should be able to do this one independently. Next, they're gonna go over to the spotted station and we're working on our pullovers again. Feet go down on the red spot, one hand on each side. Make sure that their chins come up first to the bar, followed by their hips. And then again, we're focusing on that wrist shift on top of the bar and then pushing all the way up to front support. Next, they go to the yellow station where they're gonna do the spinny wheel, one hand on each side, lift their knees up in a tuck position, and then they're spinning around and around. On the blue station, they're gonna be working on modified pullovers. They're gonna stand on top of the star, one hand on each side, walk their toes up the Pac-Man all the way up to that high bar where that yellow noodle is gonna be, and then they can kick themselves up and over. Next, this drill is intended to help their wrist shift. So they're going to they're going to basically reel the rope in by shifting their wrists all the way until the block comes to the top, and then they can let it drop down back in the bucket. Lastly, they have rope and rock wall as stations. You can either combine these stations or keep them separate depending on the number of kids you guys have. This week on balance beam, we're introducing bunny hops on the low beam, and then we're also continuing to work on our handstand progressions. At the start of balance beam, make sure you review with the students butterfly hands, which with thumbs together, fingers on the outside, and that's how their hands are gonna go down on the beam with their thumbs placed on top, fingers wrapped around the edge. So for this first station, they're working bunny hops. They're gonna take one of the carrots from the bucket, make sure one foot is slightly in front of the other, and then 2 feet together all the way down, drop the carrot off into the bucket. Next, they're gonna be working on their half handstands independently this week. Remember the correct hand position, thumbs together, fingers wrap around the side. They're gonna walk their toes up. They can hold a leg up if they can, and then come back down. We're trying to get their shoulders on top of their hips, which is directly over their hands. Next, they're gonna be doing a cartwheel over the block, starting on the laser beam, landing off onto the spot. Next, we're gonna be doing our handstand hops. This week, instead of their feet starting on the beam, we're gonna have their hands go to the beam. So same thing we did last week, but now they're making it a little bit more difficult by placing their hands on the beam. Next, we're introducing a cartwheel drill. So hands go down on the foam beam. They're gonna put their feet on the sound pad, walk their toes over to the top, all the way over to the other side. Next, we're gonna be working on our levers into our handstand. Now, this is the station you're gonna wanna help or spot this week. They start one foot on each side, bring their favorite or dominant foot up to the beam. Their other leg is going to rest or balance on that half rainbow, and then they're gonna walk their hands down the wedge and then all the way back up. And this is gonna help teach them how to go into their handstand. Next, we're continuing to progress our push-up walks. This week, we're doing them on the high beam. Hands go down on the ground, feet go up, and they're walking all the way across, trying to keep their bellies up and their bottoms flat. That's it for beam this week, guys. All right, floor stations this week. We're gonna continue working our backward roll. Arms start up by our ears, bottom goes down. Make sure they're using the correct hand position by their ears, and we're trying to get them to push all the way up to their feet, back to a stand. Next on the tumble track, they're gonna be working cartwheels this week. Now, they can do it over here and over there. These can be 2 stations, or if you don't need them 2 stations, you can just make it 1 station. But make sure if it is 2, that they do not cross that red line in the middle, that they stay separate so no one's getting kicked. After that, they're gonna go over to the wedge mat, and we're gonna be helping them on bridges this week. Make sure their hands start by their ears, their feet push all the way up and back down. Only buds will be doing those bridges, okay? We'll fold the other half up and do half bridges for our sprouts group. Next, they're gonna come down to the panel mat. They're doing log rolls with their arms by their ears. There's noise pads underneath that, so as they roll, it should produce some sound. We're gonna continue working on our candlesticks. So feet start on top of the noise pad, bottom goes down. They're gonna lift their toes up to kick the balloon, stand back up on the noise pad, nice and tall. Over here, we're working arch ups this week. So they're laying down on their tummy, trying to keep our arms covering our ears the whole time. They're gonna lift their legs up and their arms up at the same time, just like that. And that does it for floor this week, guys. Thank you. So for our ending activity this week, we're gonna be playing with balloons. There's a couple different things you can do with them. I like to play where they have to keep it up off the floor, so they can do that with their, just with their hands, but you can also use other parts of your body to have them hit it with. So you could do elbow, you could do head, you could do knee. I would avoid kicking because that tends to, lead to someone always getting kicked, but you can try different things with them for the next 2 weeks.